Darkwing Duck issue number 1. This is a new line of Darkwing Duck comics and that is part of Dynamite uh, Comics' new thing with Disney Afternoon properties. Basically, they're getting the Gargoyles comics back into print from the 90s, old Darkwing Duck comics back into print from the 90s, and they're making new runs of those. I was not able to collect the Gargoyles ones, but I am going to do the Darkwing ones. I'll probably go back and get a trade paperback of all the Gargoyles ones. But for right now, I just have the Darkwing. And I gotta say, I really enjoyed this comic. Now, this is just the first issue. The next one does not come out for another couple weeks. I really enjoyed this. Just came out today, so it is available in comic book shops. What I really enjoyed about this comic is this is what I imagine the Darkwing Duck reboot coming to Disney Plus is gonna feel like, because it's literally just Darkwing Duck, but in modern times. The conflict of the story is about Megavolt, which is very smart to make the first story about Megavolt, because what has changed in between the 90s and now, right? The most that would have the most impact on Darkwing Duck, technology. And because his one of his villains is all about technology, so he uses phones, cell phones in this story to basically brainwash people to wanting to kill Darkwing. And yeah, I mean that's the story. And you know it's a pretty simple Darkwing Duck story. You got a classic Darkwing villain, up to no good, makes one of the he has to take him down, and his ego gets in the way. Pretty simple Darkwing Duck story. Gosselin feeds into that, and she helps along the way. And there's lots of jokes that felt very much like the same character. Like Darkwing keeps talking about how he'd never get Gosselin his cell phone and making jokes about it. That's total Darkwing. I imagine that character wouldn't do that. That's funny to me. The actual art in the book is actually really nice. I really enjoyed this cover here. This is a gorgeous looking cover. But yeah, I mean the art here feels very much like Darkwing Duck style animation, and it's very well put together. And yeah, there's some fun moments here. A lot of great humor in this, which is what you expect from a Darkwing Duck comic. It's and just Darkwing Duck in general. The only thing I have to say about this is this book starts a little clunky. And what I mean by that is if you don't know what Darkwing Duck is, and you just, let's just say you're a guy who's browsing the comic book shelves and goes, who the hell's Darkwing Duck? Right? And you pick up this comic because it looks interesting to you, you pick it up. Maybe you pick it up for a kid, maybe you pick it up for you, whatever. It starts with a bunch of references to the characters and stuff and the series and all that. If you don't know what they're talking about, it's confusing. It's very awkward and very clunky. Now, luckily, I did. They didn't do a great job of reintroducing you to Launchpad, to Gosselin, and her friend. I forget the kid's name, but anyways, they don't do a great job reintroducing you to any of those characters. It's a great Darkwing Duck stories for fans, but if you're not a fan, it doesn't do a great job. And that's one aspect I think the Disney Plus show will probably do better, because it's going to have to reach a broader audience than this comic book. However, it's still a good comic book, and I definitely recommend reading it if you are a Darkwing Duck fan, and I cannot wait to read issue number 2 whenever that drops.